Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates Red Ranger figure from Super7. The Tyrannosaurus sword from this line shot straight to the top of my top 13 for the halfway point of the year. So the question is, how do the actual Rangers fare? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, overall things here are very much decent. However, this is very much what I would qualify as a mixed bag, and we're going to get into that because that's what this section is for. And I'm gonna say that just right off the bat, silhouette is interesting. I'm not a total fan of it. The torso, the upper torso, certainly is very blocky, and I think that's partially due to the articulation. And I get that here for this ab crunch, they did not want to intrude on the diamond pattern here at the top, and I get that. That makes sense. But it just definitely kind of makes it a little bit more blocky. And overall, Super7's thing is definitely more like toyetic, that sort of feel. And I get that, and it totally works for them. But here, I don't know, it just doesn't fully sell me. And certainly me having seen when I saw the promo photos, I was kind of on the fence until I realized this came with certain accessories, which we'll get into in the next section. But which I also think will kind of offset the visuals here. But overall, going into like some very big positives here, like the helmet, we get the silver teeth with the white backing, which we don't always see. Not only that, the visor is the correct shape, and we get the white lining around the entire thing. So like great detail here in the helmet. Beautiful silver there for the mouthpiece as well. Pretty much a perfect level of gloss too. Just beautiful sculpt, proportions, just everything. Just nailed it on the helmet. Again, paint overall is pretty tight, and even getting here to the belt, like we can see the Power Rangers logo is actually legible. We can see the T-Rex and the power coin, and we have the lining, the black lining on the white belt, which we pretty much almost never see, and that's beautiful. So yeah, really good stuff. Diamonds are pretty clean. And we come down to the boots, and we even get this line in the front, which I don't think we see on many, if any, figures. Just a random detail of the actual costuming that kind of gets lost. And cool to see that here. Not only that, but we do get the black soles, which we don't often see because it's an extra paint point. But it absolutely adds a level of class to the overall look. So very, very good there. And then, yeah, the only other thing I guess I gotta say here is that a lot of this is painted, and that affects when you articulate it. So you can see I got a mark here. That's from, like, I had to warm this up, and as soon as I moved it, yeah, I got a little bit of a nick there, which is a little bit sad. And not only that, but some of the elbows, because various points are painted, so I've got some white points there, and I don't think I have anything here on this arm, but I do have on the other arms that we'll get into in the next section. So little sad there, but overall, like the high points of the visuals on this figure are incredible. The low points are kind of mid. So yeah, that's aesthetics. When it comes to accessories, we get a pretty much overwhelming amount. So let's not waste any time jumping right into hands. We get a couple of fists. We get a couple of gripping hands with a vertical hinge. We get a couple of hands, gripping hands with a horizontal hinge. We get a couple of trigger hands. And then we get a couple of kind of posed martial arts Sentai hands. Beautiful sculpt there, by the way. Great details on the gloves as well. Then we get a few head sculpts. So we look at the helmet and the aesthetics. Then we get a Jason head, and a little cartoonish, a little bit more toyish, but very well done. Great paint all around. We even get the earring, great gold on that as well. So very nice. That I definitely reads as Jason, so that's perfectly well and good. And then we get a Rocky head, also very well done. Again, even if it's a little cartoonish, it totally reads as Steve Cardenas. So yeah, just love it. Just looks great. Not that I'm going to use this on my display, but I think overall just a great addition that we get both. And then we move on to, let's say, apparel. So right off the bat, we do get a separate morpher. As you can see, we actually have the handle there, which goes into the front. And let's see if I can zoom properly here. But we can read Power Rangers around the power coin. The power coin does have a very definitive T-Rex design there. And some nice silver around the black. I mean, it looks great. I don't know if this is fully coming across on camera, but just very, very well done there. So that's awesome. Then we get the dragon shield, and this is beautiful. I love the way this is done. The metallic on the shield itself is pretty much perfect. We get those nice clear designs in the center. And of course, because we have that, we need the armbands. So they gave us a separate set of arms, and you know, pretty much what we saw before, but very well done. We get that gold here again. The articulation cut is different. We're gonna go over that in the next section, but we get the higher cut for the bicep. And again, we'll talk about that in the next section, but yeah, very, very nice there. It's a separate set of arms. Then we get a sheath for the dragon dagger. And as you can see, you just got a kind of port there, and it goes on to the right side of the Red Ranger. And you can see there's a little bit of opening here. I'm actually not sure if this is supposed to open or not, especially because of the white showing there. So I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. But overall, good that they included it, obviously. Then we get into weapons. So first off, let's go old school, and we actually get this white unpainted, even with the peg hole blaster, very reminiscent of the old school. I believe the flip heads are the ones that had these, and that's pretty cool. That's a great addition. Again, Super7 just absolutely nails it when it comes to that sort of thing. And we get the old school power sword, which I believe definitely came with a flip head because it didn't come with the 8-inch. And yeah, that's really cool. I'm kind of surprised they went with the silver paint as opposed to just a silver plastic, but that is what it is. Still great sculpt all around. And that allows us to transition into the more straightforward weapons. So we get a beautiful power sword here, fully painted. We get all the details, even the green gems here. Not something we often see. We got the gold trim everywhere. We get the black handle. Just very beautifully done all around. Great details as well. Even the design there and the blade, just wonderful. I love it. Then we get the dragon dagger. Again, full details, gold everywhere it needs to be. The buttons are painted. Even the little piping here at the beginning of the flute part is painted. Just everything you would want is just here. And you can see the dragon claw here, and just, yeah, beautifully done. Beautifully done. Then we get into blasters, and 3 different versions. So we get the holstered version. You can read Power Rangers there on the barrel. So very, very nice. These are all of a malleable plastic as well, which is kind of nice. So as you can see, blue, red, like more details than we've seen probably any other line. Then we get blaster mode itself. So as you can see, those details carry over. Just really nice touches of silver going on here. And then finally, we actually get dagger mode. And I was a little worried about this when I first saw it because the swords are not a flexible plastic, but this is. So that does move, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And yeah, so all those details are there. And I guess that does it for aesthetics. Before I forget, we actually have one more piece, and that is the power crystal here. And I'm sorry I forgot that. There was so much going on there, and I was running over on time. But you can see, got a nice, we can see again the Tyrannosaurus head there at the top of the crystal, and that beautiful gold. And then we have the kind of translucent plastic here for the crystal itself. So that's accessories. Articulation, balance here are definitely decent, and as you can see, can hold a freestanding kick pretty nicely. So that is always a positive in my book. So let's break down the finer points here, get it to a bit of more of a neutral. So the head, I'm very happy with this. We are on a ball hinge. We get perfect amount of up, perfect amount of down, not too much tilt, but we do get a little bit, and we get some rotation. So very happy with that much. Our arms are hinge and swivel. We come out to literally a perfect T, like pretty much a straight line as possible. We do get bicep swivel. We have a single jointed elbow, which only brings us to about 90, which is a little sad, certainly for a Power Ranger, but we do get some rotation there as well. Then we come to the hands and we get swivel and hinge, and those are all horizontal except for the particular set of weapon holding hands, which is nice. I love that they include both. We come to the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a standard ab crunch, and we're coming forward and getting about that far and about that far back for our arch. We do have, it feels like a ball joint here at the waist. So we get some swivel, but there's some up and down as well. So those combined pretty much get us there. It's not crazy, but it's there, which is nice. And again, that adds the arch a little bit. So that's very nice. And of course, that's where we're getting our rotation, which is actually very nice now that mine's loosened up. So then we come down to the hips. Our hips are almost full splits, definitely beautiful. We do have a thigh swivel of sorts. So I don't know if you can see, this is kind of what Super7 does with a lot of their stuff. So there's a ball joint that comes into this assembly, and then there is a kind of, I don't want to call it a pin, but there is a piece that comes down here. I know this because when I warmed it up, I was able to remove it, and that allows us to rotate. You can hear a little bit of noise there. So there is that. And then we have single jointed knees, which are bringing us just past 90, and we do get slightest bit of rotation there. Then we get boot swivel. We get some very nice points. Whoa, and I knocked everything over. Wow. Some insane forward, and then some insane rocker. So yeah, that's articulation. Getting in size comparisons, here he is with some other Power Rangers lines over the years. With some Hasbro and some Mattel. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with an articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valaverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates Red Ranger figure from Super7 is that it's definitely fun. However, I can definitely see a lot of points of this being contentious. Honestly, if you don't dig what Super7 does, this isn't going to change your mind. However, if you just love collecting Power Rangers stuff, specifically the Mighty Morphin era, there's definitely a lot to love here. There's a lot of good details thrown in. There's an insane amount of accessories, and there's definitely a lot of love thrown into this figure. Just some of the choices I think aren't going to resonate with people, certainly in just the modern context. And again, that kind of toy approach that Super7 takes is going to be something that people either dig or they don't. And for me, I'm definitely on a case-by-case basis. For me, here it works, especially because I just love having armored Red Ranger figures. I literally have a collection just of that. So this fills that for me and totally like hits. But I can definitely see this not working for a number of people. So if you're looking for something to either like fill the void of the Lightning collection for a year or so, this probably isn't going to do that. However, if you're collecting a lot of Super Sentai stuff, if you're just a Zero Ranger fan in general, if you're a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan just in general of the Red Ranger, then this will probably be for you. So you know, it's available at various places online, and you know, I might show up in Best Buys because Best Buys are getting various Super7 stuff apparently. So you know, you might find it on a shelf, you might find it online. So I'll try to include a link or two in the description below for you to find if you're so interested. So that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider coming back, because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, more, all that sort of stuff. So please come on back. Let's talk some more toys. Let's escape the world for a while. And all that being said, I hope you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.